I'm going to begin by asking you a question. What are you stressing over right now? I'll rephrase my question. What are you worrying about right now? Is it your job? I guess at first because it's a very common thing to worry about. Do you hate what you do? Maybe you even hated it and wanted to quit for a long time, but for whatever reason you just can't get yourself to leave. So you get stuck in a constant battle of hating what you do and wanting to quit, but you're too scared. You don't know what would happen if you stopped complaining about it and actually left. So you choose to stay. Even though you hate it, you find comfort in what you know because the unknown is just too scary. Maybe you love your job and it pays really well, so that's not what you're worrying about. Is it a relationship? You could be annoyed or unhappy with your spouse, wondering what would it be like to be single again, or even with someone else. Or you could really love your relationship, maybe even a little too much, so you're constantly worrying that something is going to happen, or they're going to leave you, or find someone they like better, causing you to lose yourself in the relationship and stop acting like and being the person they fell in love with in the first place. I could be completely off here, and it's actually the opposite. You're single, not by choice, and you're worried that you may never find the one, and you'll end up alone, forever, wondering why, or thinking you're not good enough or attractive enough to be loved by someone else. Okay, I'm going to make one more guess. Are you worrying about what other people think of you? Maybe you saw someone's post on social media, and it just seems like they're doing a lot better than you. They seem happier, better looking, more confident, you name it, they just seem to have it all figured out. And it makes you feel like you don't. Why can't you have that life? So you start to compare yourself and feeling like you need to be doing better than them, or at least as good. And it definitely doesn't help that we live in a society completely consumed by social media. You start worrying about what you're eating, so you start ordering avocado toast and taking pictures of it. You worry about what you're wearing, so you start buying clothes that you normally wouldn't wear because they looked so good on the person in the picture. You start wondering if you drive a nice enough car, so you go lease something you really can't afford. And finally, you just aren't sure if you go on enough trips and look really good in the pictures taken on those trips, so you book an exotic vacation on your credit card, buy a tripod because you don't have anyone to take the pictures for you on that trip, and you're on your way. Alright, I know I may have gotten a little carried away there, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. It is so easy today to get caught up in the horrible habit of constantly comparing ourselves to others and worrying about how we measure up. Now, before I make the point I want to make, I do want to say this. There are things that are going to happen in life, and honestly, it feels impossible or even inappropriate, insensitive, or irresponsible not to worry about them. Trust me, I get it. I do. Your loved one died and you can't bring them back. You don't know why and you can't find the answers. The bills are due and you have no money. Your family is hungry and you have no food. Your friend is sick and you have no cure. Your heart is broken and you don't know how to fix it. These are real problems that cause real pain and real emotions. But I'm still going to tell you something that you probably don't want to hear, and that is that worrying is useless. It changes nothing, it doesn't help, it doesn't make you feel better. Actually, it makes you feel worse, and it doesn't do anything positive. Although it makes complete sense to us at the time to worry, down the road, looking back at the situation, we can see that actually, it made zero sense to worry. It made no difference. It made us even more upset, and it's very possible it clouded our judgment when making important decisions. So here's the ultimate question. If we aren't supposed to worry because it's useless, then what are we to do instead? Well, you're probably going to hate my answer even more than the one I gave you before, but that does not change my answer. I feel that I must still tell you the truth, and that is that the best substitute for worry is gratitude. Yes, gratitude, being thankful. I know it sounds crazy, maybe even a little weird or inappropriate considering the extremely difficult and painful situations we find ourselves in? How can we be thankful in a situation dominated by disappointment, confusion, and pain? Really, it's because I feel it's the only option we have that's powerful enough to help us through the situation and give us clear perspective that will allow us to make the best decisions we can in those circumstances. Okay, let's get specific. My loved one died. How the hell can I be thankful? This one hits home for me, but first I'll address your question by asking you a question. Let's forget about gratitude for a second and pick what seems to be the most logical option: worrying. I ask you, what will worrying do? Will it bring your loved one back? Will it give you another moment with them, giving you the opportunity to say or change anything you regret not addressing or changing before they passed? Will it make you feel better or take your pain away? Will it answer your questions of why they had to die, why now, why not someone else? Whether we like it or not, the answer to all those questions is undoubtedly no. So this is where I propose gratitude. No, gratitude will not bring them back. It won't answer any of our questions, nor will it necessarily make you any less sad. But what it will do is gently remind you of the good times and memories you had with that person. It will help you find peace in knowing you can be grateful for the impact that person made on your life. It can bring hope by being thankful for their faith if they were religious. It can bring joy by reflecting on the times they made you laugh and smile. It can bring inspiration and a powerful motivation to carry out and honor their legacy. So no, neither worrying nor gratitude will bring them back. But worrying only breeds more pain. And gratitude can allow your loved one to live on in your heart, your memories, your honor of their legacy in a positive, uplifting way that would make them proud. I will never understand why my brother and my dad died in such tragic ways. But instead of worrying about trying to understand why, I've chosen to be thankful for every moment with them I have stored in my brain and in my heart. I've chosen to be thankful for the lessons they taught me and the impact they made on my life and the lives of many others. My ability to be thankful instead of worrying was not accomplished overnight. It took time, it took practice, and I'm far from perfect, so I still catch myself worrying all the time. But my decision to choose gratitude over worrying has truly set me free. Okay, I feel like we've addressed the most difficult one first, but let's tackle a few others. The bills are due, and you're short on money. That's not a situation anyone enjoys being in, but chances are, if you're watching this video on a computer, phone, or tablet, you still have a lot to be thankful for. You were born in an economic society with extreme privilege and wealth compared to many other parts of our world. No, you may not be the richest, but you certainly are not the poorest, and you still have much to be thankful for. My brother was homeless, my father was homeless, and my grandfather was homeless. But even they would tell you they had much to be thankful for. My dad used to always say, I felt sorry for myself because I had no shoes until I met a man who had no feet. Your heart is broken and you don't know how to fix it. Although the pain may seem unbearable now in this moment, with time, the pain will dull and your heart will begin to heal. We can be thankful for that time. We can be thankful for that healing and for the lessons we can learn to prevent it from happening again in the future. Okay, here's another one. You hate your job and you're too scared to quit. Instead of complaining and worrying, we can be thankful that we have a job at all. We can be thankful that we are mentally and physically able to work. We can be thankful that we live in a world full of opportunities that can allow us to find fulfillment in how we earn a living. We can be thankful that the only thing that keeps us from leaving the job we hate is our own fear. And all we ultimately have to do is face our fears by making the decision that will bring us happiness and freedom. I heard a quote about a glass being half full or half empty. No, not the one we've all heard a million times that says we have the choice of viewing the glass as half full or half empty. I'm talking about a quote that I liked much better. It's not about looking at the glass as half full or half empty. It's about being thankful that there's water in the glass at all, so drink that shit and stop complaining. Gratitude may not make our problems go away, but what gratitude does have the undeniable ability to do is to allow us to see our problems in a different, positive perspective that can even give us the power to turn our problems into opportunities. You see, if we can learn to replace worrying with gratitude, we can look at the world from a completely different point of view. We can replace negativity with optimism and hope. We can stop comparing ourselves to others and start to find our true selves. We can find happiness in serving others instead of always having to be served. We can find our self-worth in who we truly are and how we impact others instead of a job title or the things we're able to buy to make us feel good about ourselves. And ultimately, gratitude will help us find hope, a ray of light in the darkest of times. So, I challenge all of you, and I challenge myself. The next time we catch ourselves worrying, stop and think about what we can be thankful for. It may feel stupid or weird at first, but with practice and repetition, it can completely transform our minds, our attitudes, and our lives. Worrying and gratitude both have one thing in common. They are both contagious. We can spread negativity to an already negative world, or we can spread positivity, hope, and happiness through our lives and into the lives of others. We have a choice to make. I'm just thankful we have a choice.